Hey, this is Xander Fryer with Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to talk about burnout. Now, if you're feeling stuck or feeling burnt out, I'm going to tell you what to do and how to fix it. Burnout is now a legitimate medical diagnosis according to the World Health Organization. This is real, and it's here to stay, so we need to understand it, and we need to figure out the tools that will actually help us move through it. Now, the amount of research that's been happening around burnout and overwhelm in the workplace has gone up critically over the last several years. Several studies are showing that anywhere between 60 to 75% in professional jobs in 9 to 5s are feeling some form of burnout. That's between 2/3 and 3/4 of people that are in 9 to 5s are experiencing some form of burnout. So if you're not sure if you're experiencing some form of burnout, let's list what you might be feeling. Number 1, you're feeling energy depletion or exhaustion at work. Number 2, you're feeling complete mental distance from your career and what you're doing. Number 3, you're feeling negative or hopeless about your future in your career. Or number 4, you're feeling extreme lowering of professional productivity in the workplace. Now, if you're experiencing any of these things, you might actually be experiencing burnout. So what do we need to do to actually overcome this? Now, this is becoming a more common topic these days. Why? Because the World Health Organization, actually found that over 120,000 deaths last year were caused by work-related stress and burnout. Now, that's a lot of people that this is affecting, and those are just the people who died. There are a lot of people that this is affecting their personal lives. It's causing divorces, it's causing mental health issues, it's causing them to break down. And the truth is, you might be one of these going on. So if you're feeling burnt out or you're feeling stuck, we need to pay attention and we need to make a change. So I want to give you the 3 tips right now to save yourself from burnout and start having a life that's actually meaningful. So before I dig into the 3 tips, I actually want to share with you where burnout comes from, because burnout comes from one of 2 places. The first place that burnout might come from is a lack of proper reward or compensation for the work that you're putting into something. Now, if you're being properly compensated and fulfilled by the work that you're actually putting out there, you can be worked really, really hard and be totally fine with it. But if you're not being compensated properly, it doesn't matter if it's very minimal work. You'll still feel burnt out. You'll still feel a lack of energy. You'll still feel a lack of excitement in what you're doing, and it'll affect your mental health. It'll affect your physical health. So it's not actually an amount of work. It's the amount of compensation and the amount of reward for the amount of work that you're putting into something. Now, the second thing that will constitute burnout is your alignment and fulfillment with what you're doing. If you're doing something that does not matter to you, if you're doing something that does not align with who you are as a person, it's going to create resistance. But if you're doing something that is in alignment with who you are, what you love, what you're passionate about, what you really believe in, that will create resonance. Resonance will create energy, while resistance will drag you down. So those are the 2 things we need to be aware of, and that's going to be what we need to fix in order to overcome burnout. So what can we actually do to fix this? Well, the first thing that you can do to actually start to combat burnout is to start a passion project. Now, this is an easy first step, and we do this with a lot of our clients that are in 9 to 5s that they hate. We help them start their coaching business on the side. Now, what happens when you start to do something that you're really passionate about or what you're really excited about, like we talked about, something that aligns with you, you will create resonance in your life. Now, even if that resonance is only in 20% of your life, it will actually carry over to the other 80%. We see this all the time with coaches that we work with. Let's say somebody is in a career, they're in a finance career that they hate, but they start doing their coaching business on the side and they really resonate with it. Well, the excitement and the energy that brings helps motivate them to get them up in the morning. And even though they only get to work on it in the evening, when they wake up in the morning, they're really excited to get to that point in the day. So they work through all the hard stuff in their finance job and they're fine with it. They don't burn out because at the end of the day, they get that reward of working on the thing that really matters. This is why having something, a passion project or something you're really excited about on a day-to-day basis to be working on, even if it's only a small portion of your day, can be incredibly powerful to pushing you forward and fighting through burnout. Now, the second thing that you can do to start to combat burnout is make sure that you're rewarded and compensated properly. Now, this means going to your boss, going to your manager, and asking them to pay you more, asking them for better hours, better work-life balance, better benefits, to make sure that you're actually being rewarded the way that you think you're going to be rewarded. Because if you're being rewarded under what you think you're worth, you'll start to feel burnt out. If you're being rewarded above what you think you're worth, you're gonna be pretty happy. Now the truth is though, this is only a temporary fix. So when I was working at Cisco, I did this for several years. Every time I was starting to feel a little bit more burnt out, I would go have a conversation with my manager, my director. I would find ways to get paid more. I would find ways to get promoted. I would find ways to get raises. And this worked. You know, every time I started to feel the dull, the lull, I would get a pay raise, I would get a promotion, and I'd get this injection of excitement as I would keep going. But then that became the new norm. And I started to realize that I was worth more again. And so this happened every 6 months, every year. And eventually I realized I'm just running around the same hamster wheel over and over again. So the truth is, being rewarded and being compensated well is only a temporary fix, which brings me to the third solution. Now the third solution is the only permanent solution. This is where you completely change your career to aligning with something that really matters for you. You have to realize that a majority of your life is going to be spent working. We are built to work in some way, shape, or form. Majority of your life is going to be spent working or in your career. So you better damn well make sure that you're doing something that really aligns with you. Because if you're not, there will always be a creation of resistance between your day-to-day and what you really want in life. Now, this doesn't have to happen overnight. It can happen over time. But the first step is you got to get clarity on what that actually is. If you need any help with this, be sure to check out my book, Shit You Don't Learn in College. We run through a ton of exercises in there to make sure you're getting clear on it. But the truth is, if you want to make sure to permanently avoid burnout, then you're going to have to align your career with something that really, really matters to you, something that you can really get behind day in and day out. And you can wake up every single day knowing, I'm doing something important, I'm doing something that makes a difference, and I'm doing something that fulfills me. That's gonna be what creates that resonance. That's gonna be what creates that internal drive, that internal motivation day in and day out. Because like I said, we're always gonna have to put in the work. We're always gonna have to work hard. But if you're doing it with something that matters, you're gonna have a deep why, and you're never gonna feel burnt out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button and let me know. If you have anything specific that you want me to cover in a future video, make sure to comment that below as well. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel so you never miss another great video, and I'll see you in there.